and welcome back to Dry Bones Garage. This episode is a part of a series where me and my dad turn the Corvair, you see the back, into a hot rod. We originally got it from Illinois, and we drug it all the way back to where we live. It was going pretty well until we saw that the frame had some issues. It was rusted out. In order to compensate, we went to a junkyard in order to find a suitable frame. I think I said that already. And we were looking through the junkyard, and we found a frame from a G-body cutlass, which you can see back there. And we stripped it, or we stripped everything off of it.
It's kind of sitting on its side like nothing's going on.
Come along for the ride, the beautiful journey. In today's episode, we started out by patching up some spots where rust used to be on the chassis.
This is kind of an odd Dutch shape, but once we've got this cut out, we can dress it, play with it, fettle it back until it matches nicely the hole that it's going into, and we'll spot that in. Okay. So, what we'll do from here, we'll just go around and do the rest of them, alright? Just like that. Just cut the piece, if it's a round one, just cut the square and then work it out. But as long as it's close, we can come back and we can start nibbling down to get it to fit the way we want it to fit. And from there, we'll start welding them in.
The sparks melted a hole in my glove. We painted the frame with primer off camera. You figure you'll use that?
We'll use this as, to make our standoffs, or our butts, whatever you want to call it. We'll just take a hole saw, find one that fits just a little bit bigger than this. Cut, 10? We could do 12 or 14 of them, I guess. If we utilized every aperture, we're going to have to make ones at the front end. But if we drag the frame to the one side or the other, we can set up a little workstation over here, start cutting those, take a hole saw and punch out a bunch of little basic pads, start welding them together. Farron wants to be our welding specialist, or I can. So, if you guys want to maybe grab the back end of this thing, it's probably lighter. I'll drag the front end sideways. We can make ourselves a little workspace over here. And we'll set up the chop saw. And kind of determine what we want to do as far as the standoff from the frame, what makes sense. Or we can just cut some pucks, and then what we'll do is we'll run like foam rubber down the top of the frame, and then we'll just barely have a standoff at all, and then just use the wafers, except for where our perches are recessed. We'll actually build that up to like maybe an 1/8 inch, maybe, above the frame. And then lay that foam rubber down so if anything starts vibrating as the car's going down the road, we won't get rattling and popping. That's kind of your decision. If we did it that way, we could potentially get the body of the car that much lower over the frame without invading or intruding on interior space any more than necessary. That would give us a lower center of gravity potentially, get everything deeper up inside the car, give it a more sporting and aggressive stance, maybe. I don't know, your call. What do you want to do? Do you want quirky and cute? Do you want to go aggressive? Do you want to try and bridge the gap somewhere in between?
In between?
In between?
Looks like a big giant decided to take a bite out of the steel. Yeah. I feel like I'm holding a foreign currency from an ancient land. It just looks like money to me, like a foreign coin.
Yep. All right. Guess we're going to have to do them all individually if they don't spend. So once the washers come in, we've got these done. We'll actually bolt them to the frame at every point we're going to pick up on the frame, and I guess we'll be building to that once we actually get the Corvair setting where we want it on the frame, get it squared up and proper, and lay in as level as we can. Then we'll start building to those perches.
Okie dokie.
Artichoke.
What did you say?
I said, well, for now, because I don't have any exhaust clamps, we'll just kind of chicken wire this into place. That same stuff we use to hold the transaxle and center section up in the Corvair.
Yeah.
We'll hang this up in place after we get that bolted back in. Then we can rest the engine and trans on the cross member and on the mounts. And that'll pretty much locate everything that we have to get around. And then I'm thinking we'll probably be looking at picking up a complete, if we can, first gen F-body floor pan, because it's kind of flat and it kind of resembles what came out of the car. We might be able to use the seats out of this car with that. We'll have to look at things. This is just conjecture, but that's kind of the half-baked plan for now. And then we'll make adjustments to accommodate the G-body exhaust. That's a freebie because we bought that, or I bought that for the Oldsmobile 10 years ago now, I think. That's been laying in the barn. It's ridiculous overkill for your car, but it's free. No, I'm not going to use it on anything, so here we go. And it fits to this chassis. It was intended literally for a compass. I shouldn't say that. That was actually a Monte Carlo SS exhaust. But once we've got that more or less hung in place, that Oldsmobile is going to take up the same real estate that that small block Chevy will. We'll just set that back down until we can get that small block. I've got the transmission here already, I think. I'll have to look in the shelves. That small block's already got the bell housing, the clutch. I think, I don't know, it might still have the shorty headers on it. Maybe your grandpa found a use for those and you put them on something, I don't know. So we'll see what we see when we get it. Other than that, once we've got that pan more or less in place, located, mounted, after the body's located, we'll start building a floor pan for the trunk and try and incorporate what we can out of that Cutlass one to locate the tank where we want it. And barring any unexpected surprises or, increased clarity moving forward, I think that's going to be our plan. Still a relatively low budget car. But it's getting to be not a low budget car fast.
I look taller than you.
That's because I'm slow, Jim. Yeah.
And we drove it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
And I don't even remember what my reasoning was. I think
Is this thing on?
Yes.
Oh. I was standing in front of it. Aren't you so cute? You're so cute.